What is going on, y'all? Let me start my little timer because we're not going to go over 10 minutes. Those of you that like full transparency, just like me, the reason I make sure my videos do not go over 10 minutes is simply for rewatchability. People don't want to watch a video over 10 minutes. What is the very first thing that you do? You hover over the bottom and you say, how long is this? And if it's over 10 minutes, you're like, I don't know. And so we're not going to do that. Anyway, so my name is Martha Krejci. In case we have not met before, that is how you pronounce all of those consonants together real close. So first things first, you guys can win stuff. The way you do that is you subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment on my YouTube videos, and share my YouTube videos into the social media. Tag myself or my business page in it. One person every single week is going to win something. So there's that. I really hope that Mike ends up taking a screenshot of me doing this because that'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, he gets terrible screenshots of me. For those of you that don't know, that's a thing and it happens. All right, good morning. I see you guys coming into the live chat. Love you guys. Love seeing you. This morning what we're talking about is, we're going to talk about this weird hair on my neck over here. There we go. We are talking about how to grow. It's basically growing $1 million Facebook group. And yeah, let me just make sure that that's actually the title here. A boop, boop, boop. Grow $1 million Facebook group with no ads. So no ads should be assumed with me because I don't use ads for anything. I don't like them. I don't do them. If you're like, Martha, why don't you use ads? It's because I've never seen loyalty built with an ad before. That is why I don't use ads. I build loyalty. I build relationships. I build community that is like glued together, right? Like that's what I create. And I've never ever once seen that created with an ad. And so I don't waste my money on it because that's just, it's not how I roll. And also it's not what I teach you guys. Okay. So if you're here and you're like, so she's saying you can grow without ads. That's precisely what I'm saying and what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and talk this morning about $1 million Facebook group without ads. So what does it take in order to create $1 million Facebook group without ads? First of all, it takes focus. It takes focus on the group. So I'm sure that there are many of you that have seen, you know, these massive, huge Facebook groups out there, and you go into them and it's kind of just like this. The visual I get is that you go into the group and it's like everybody is standing around. So I'm from the country. Okay, I'm real country. So I imagine a corn silo. I just have to explain how country I am before I tell you about the visual I get. I imagine a corn silo in the middle of a field. So imagine in the middle of nowhere, there's this tin silo, right? And I imagine there's a bunch of people standing around outside of that silo yelling at the silo. And so the silo, as we all understand, is an inanimate object. Inanimate object. It doesn't eat, drink, live, breathe. It is not alive, okay? And so everybody is sort of shouting their offers and what they do kind of into the abyss, really. And I mean, how many of you, tell me in the chat if you've seen that before? Right? You go into a really big group and everybody's just like, hey, but I have this and I have this and I have this. And then they do this shrouded, what would they call it? Customer discovery questions. Well, you know, what about this? And if you're a this, would you like this? And all of these sort of, they're shrouded sales messages, guys, okay? Like the rest of us don't understand what's going on or something. But do you go into these really big groups and you have that experience? Raise your hand or say, heck yes, if you've had that experience before. Because people assume that these are like these massive groups, and therefore the people creating these groups are really, really successful because of this group. And what I'm here to say to you is that is not the case at all. That's actually a group gone sideways. That is not how you build a business with a group. It's like the opposite of what you do. They build those groups just to have numbers. It's like a vanity group, guys. those are the people that are misunderstanding the purpose of a group, and they build a group for numbers because somehow those numbers give validity to their soul, that those numbers give validity to their business. They're like, oh, well, if I have a lot of numbers here, then people are going to believe this about me, right? But it doesn't actually build their business. It's not actually $1 million Facebook group. Not actually making money off of those Facebook groups. Some of you are, yep, heck yes. Carrie, so very true, so general and not drilled down. Yeah, Amanda, heck yes. I bowed out of several of them because of that. Yeah, that's awesome. Sarah, preach, Martha, enough with all these bamboozle groups. Man, no joke, right? So you guys, that isn't it. That ain't it, right? Whenever we get into $1 million Facebook groups, and that's not, I'm not spouting off $1 million as a dream component of what a group can do. That's like that literally can happen, you know. I've done it. I've done it from, I was a waitress and a bartender for 14 years. Started at the very bottom of the ranks with GoDaddy, worked up through leadership over the course of 5 years, left, started my own thing, went to 1 semester of college, didn't even finish that, okay? I mean, if you can't see yourself in that story in some capacity, or of at least saying, I don't really, there's nothing on paper says I should be able to do what I've done. And so in me saying that, I want you to realize that we're the same. And there's no reason that you can't do this, right? No reason at all that you can't do this. You just need to know like how to be able to do it, right? Just with anything else. And I had an interesting podcast with somebody yesterday, which was so great. But in the podcast, what she asked me was, why are people not successful whenever they build their home-based business or whenever they're building their personal brands? And something came out of my face yesterday that I didn't expect to even come out of my face, but after it did, I was like, oh, that was really good, Martha. I gave myself a high five. I gave myself some dap right after I said it. Have you ever had those moments where it's almost like out of body and you're like, oh, girl, yeah, that was good. That was real good. I like that. And so anyway, that happened to me yesterday. And whenever she said, why do people fail? I was like, because the home-based industry, or the building your business online industry or vertical, right, is much like the weight loss industry. It's built to fail. It's built for you to not be able to be successful, because if you're successful, you no longer need them. And I said, that's where we're disrupting the industry, because we're making you successful. We're doing soup to nuts. We're doing beginning to end, everything in between, right? And so whenever she asked that, I was like, oh my gosh, like it really is. It's that the whole industry is compartmentalized into these tiny spaces of, here's how you do email marketing. And they're like, oh cool, I've got email marketing. And then they think they're going to be successful because of just this email marketing. And the truth is email marketing is great in the system. It needs to be a whole system of things that work together. Yeah? And so that's why people aren't successful, is because things are being sold to them, categorized and compartmentalized as though they're the one and only solution, and that's not the truth. The truth is that the solution is many different things put together, and that's what we teach. Okay? And so just a heads up, if you guys aren't in Changemaker's Den, crack it, okay? The link for it is in the description of this video. The first month is $1. Every month after that, you guys, it's $37. I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to make you better. And the only reason I make it cost anything at all, 37 is nothing, okay? The only reason I make it cost anything at all is because I need to know who my people are that are serious. That's it. Because I show up in a whole different way in Changemakers. A whole different way. You get drilled down. You get the real stuff, because I know that you have committed, that you have doubled down on yourself. To double down on yourself doesn't mean you have to spend 10K. Double down on yourself means that you choose. That's all you have to do is choose. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you get in Changemakers. If you aren't in there yet, do it. We're going to be totally drilling down, you guys, this Thursday. in Changemakers on the do this, do that, do this, do that, wash, rinse, repeat of building out your $1 million Facebook group, guys, period. That's where it's going to happen. I'll be doing a high-level version of it in Families Creating Legacies. The link is also in the description of this video. If you don't want to pay $1, no big deal. Go ahead and go on Families Creating Legacies. You'll see the high-level version of that. There's also, if you check out the guide section, many other tutorials in there as well. I give gold, guys. I give it away. I give it away because I want you to be better. I want for your family to be able to change its entire trajectory. I want for mom to be able to change the world for their family. That's what I want. That's all I've ever wanted. And so that's what we're doing here, you guys. I'm going to pop out of here because we're at 10 minutes. I love you guys. See you later.